Welcome to Locker Room Talk with Jamie. Today is Friday, November 6th, 2020. This is our episode 10 of our podcast. We, ex- we are excited to have you with us for 10 episodes and look forward to the next 10, 100, probably 1,000, who knows. This week we're going to talk about the Breeders' Cup in horse racing. Last week, we gave you a review of sports and we talked about having a special guest soon. Ryan Martin from the Ryan Martin Foundation will be joining us next week for a special episode on the Paralympic movement. We are looking forward to sharing this interview with you. We will begin our podcast this week with our stat of the week. The big college football game this weekend is Clemson at Notre Dame. Do you know that Clemson is 3-1 all time against Notre Dame? This is the second best win percentage all time against the Fighting Irish. The university that abandoned D1 football in 1939 holds the record at 4-0. And that university is the University of Chicago. College football is an amazing subject we love talking about. Moving on to my rant of the week, we will be talking about boxing. Why is boxing so confusing? You have at least 5 major organizations sanctioning world titles, plus you have as many boxing promoters. For example, you have Top Rank with ESPN, Matchroom Boxing and Golden Boy Productions with DAZN, and Premier Boxing Champion with Fox and Showtime. They can't get along, by the way. How can average fans keep up with all this movement? It's time to cut down the channels and the people glad handing their money. The promoters. For our main content this week, we are talking about the Breeders' Cup and horse racing this week, going on right now as I speak. The opening day of racing is happening as we. Today, 2-year-olds are featured. There are 5 races for the younger set, and tomorrow there are 8 races for thoroughbreds 3-year-olds and up. After promising horses and races this season, such as Authentic, who won the Derby, and Tis the Law, who won the Belmont Stakes, we know these races are going to be good. It's going to be weird without fans in the stands this year, as everything else has been. But nonetheless, we will look forward to it. Next week, we'll give you an update on who took the titles for the races in this year's Breeders' Cup. Our team of the week is on a larger scale, and not a small one in our hometown like we've been mentioning. Last week, we wanted to give a shout out to the University of Iowa football. If you haven't heard of the Wave tradition, you can go take a look at the article on our Facebook page. For each home game, after the first quarter of the game, everybody in the stadium and players turn around and wave to all the children in the children's hospital that was built, on the side of the stadium, and the top floor of the stadium looks over the stadium. Let me do that again. The top floor of the children's hospital looks over the stadium, and they built a lounge on on that top floor where the kids and their parents and the staff and anybody else who wants to go up there can watch the game and cheer on the team, even if they're on an away game. They have a huge screen up there so everyone can watch the game. This lets them stay in the hospital, line up by the window, and see everyone waving. I appreciate and love this concept because when I was growing up, I was in and out of the hospital for surgeries for my disability. I would have loved something like this, especially being a sports fan. In addition, 2 players each week during the pandemic hop on Zoom and read books to the kids. This is played on every single television in the closed circuit inside of the hospital. Way to keep it classy and set a good example. Go Hawkeyes. Moving on, we have our best and worst of sports this week. The best in sports this week is the Arizona Coyotes of the National Hockey League renounced the rights to its draft pick, Mitch Miller, after reports revealed he admitted to bullying a teen with intellectual disabilities back in 2016. This should be a lesson to all young athletes that bullying is never tolerated, and what you do in the past can certainly come back to bite you, or in this case, hit you with a hockey stick. Way to go, NHL, for standing up for what's right. Worse this weekend is that the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix has been added to the Formula One schedule for next year. This is part of an ongoing effort to sports wash the country's abysmal human rights record. We encourage Formula One to rethink their schedule. The sign of the apocalypse this week: former UFC Ultimate Fighting Championship light heavyweight champion, the Huntington Beach bad boy Tito Ortiz, won a city council seat in California, specifically Huntington Beach. What would you ever do without this segment? Politics are weird this year. We have a big announcement. We now have a website. Our podcast is here for your listening pleasure. Our selection of merchandise, which will be developed soon, and drum rolls, please. Starting a weekly blog on current events. This means double the content each week for all of our sports fans. You can visit our website by going on our Facebook or Twitter and checking on the link. We are so excited to share a central platform for fans alike to gather on. We have some exciting things coming up in 2020 and can't wait to grow with you. See you next week. Stay classy, sports fans.